There comes a moment in every life, silent, almost invisible, that holds the power to change everything. A second of courage, a whisper of belief, a choice between fear and action. We often walk through life waiting for a miracle, a sign, a spark that will light up the darkness inside us. But what if I told you the miracle isn't coming? Because you are the miracle. You're not stuck because of your circumstances. You're stuck because of your decisions, or the lack of them. That job you hate, that dream you keep delaying, that change you fear making, it all comes down to one decision. A decision that can shift your entire life from regret to purpose, from confusion to clarity. Maybe you're standing at a crossroad right now. Maybe you're doubting yourself, thinking you're not ready. But let me ask you this. When will you be ready? Next month? Next year? When the fear disappears? That's never going to happen. You'll always be scared, but if your dreams matter to you, you have to act in spite of the fear. There's no perfect moment. There's only now. And what you do right now can become the beginning of a story you'll one day be proud to tell. You don't need the whole staircase. You just need to take the first step. Because that one step, that one decision, can change everything. We all wish for a better life. A life filled with meaning, purpose, and success. We scroll through social media and see people living their dreams, achieving more, doing more, and somewhere deep down we wonder, what about me? We tell ourselves stories. I'll start tomorrow. I'm not ready yet. I don't have enough time, money, or support. And just like that, another day passes. Then a week. Then a year. And we're still stuck in the same place, hoping for something magical to happen. But life doesn't change with hope alone. It changes with decisions. Real, uncomfortable, sometimes painful decisions. Decisions to let go of excuses, to face fear, and to commit to a path even when it's hard. Because every person who ever made it big, every success story you've ever heard, began with one bold decision. Steve Jobs dropped out of college. Elon Musk risked all his money in SpaceX. Oprah decided to rise after being told she wasn't good enough for television. They didn't have guarantees. They had courage. They chose not to wait. They chose action. You don't need to be fearless. You just need to be brave for one moment, long enough to make that one choice. Whether it's waking up early to work on your dream, walking away from something toxic, or finally telling yourself, I deserve better. That one decision has a ripple effect. It builds momentum. It changes how you think, how you act, and eventually how you live. So today, I want to challenge you. Don't look at your future as a distant fantasy. See it as something you can start shaping right now. Ask yourself, what's the one decision I've been avoiding? And then, make it. Because the truth is, your life can change. Your story can transform. Your dream can come alive. All it takes is one decision. That can change everything. Freddie Figures was abandoned in a dumpster as a baby. Literally thrown away, unwanted, unloved, and left to die. But that wasn't the end of his story. It was the beginning of a journey that would inspire millions. He was adopted by a kind, older couple in Florida who raised him with love but not much money. As a child, Freddie always felt different. He knew he was adopted. He knew people talked behind his back. But what hurt most was the feeling of not belonging. At school, kids bullied him, calling him dumpster baby. It crushed him. One day, when he was about 9, He sat outside in tears. His adoptive father sat beside him and said something that changed everything. "You may have come from a rough start, but that doesn't define where you're going. You get to choose that." That one sentence stuck in Freddie's heart. He wiped his tears and made a silent promise. "I'm going to make something of myself." By age 12, he was already fixing computers from his backyard. By 15, he had built his first computer from parts he found in a dumpster. Poetic, right? A boy abandoned in trash was now building technology from it. But Freddie wasn't just building gadgets, he was building belief. At 17, he invented a GPS tracking shoe to help his father, who was suffering from Alzheimer's. He didn't do it for fame or money. He did it out of love. That invention eventually got him national attention. But Freddie wasn't done. He kept pushing, kept learning. By his early 20s, he founded Figures Communication, becoming the youngest African American to own and operate a U.S.-based telecommunications company. He went from being thrown away to creating a multi-million-dollar tech empire. And it all started with one decision, the decision to believe in himself when no one else did. He didn't let his past define his future. He chose to write a new story. So next time you feel like giving up, remember, you're one decision away from changing your life forever. Malala Yousafzai was just 11 when she made a decision to speak up for girls' education in Pakistan. Her valley in Swat was under Taliban control. Girls were being banned from schools. Fear ruled the streets. But Malala didn't stay silent. She started blogging anonymously for the BBC, describing life under the Taliban and how it felt to lose the right to learn. Her voice, small but powerful, echoed across the world. Then came the moment that could have ended her story. One afternoon in 2012, a masked gunman boarded her school bus, asked for her by name, and shot her in the head. For many, that would be the end. But not Malala. She survived. Not only did she recover, but she came back stronger, with the same fire in her heart. She gave speeches, wrote a book, and became the youngest Nobel Peace Prize winner in history. All because of one decision, to speak when silence was safer. Her courage changed not just her life, but millions of lives around the globe. Today, Malala Fund supports education for girls in over 20 countries. One voice, one stand, one decision. That can change everything. Growing up in poverty in South Carolina, Jim Johnson never imagined he'd work for NASA. In fact, he dropped out of college because he couldn't afford tuition. He started working odd jobs, including as a janitor, just to survive. But Jim had one thing no one could take from him, a dream. He decided to go back to college, even if it took him longer. He studied at night, worked during the day, and slept just a few hours. Many around him said, "You're too old. You're too broke. Let it go." But he didn't listen. He graduated in his 30s, then applied to NASA again and again, facing rejection after rejection. Until one day, after 11 tries, he finally got in. He became a lead engineer working on projects that explored Mars and beyond. From mopping floors to building machines for outer space, it all started with one decision. "I'm not giving up." Sarah Blakely was selling fax machines door to door. Every day, she got rejected. Some doors slammed in her face. Some people laughed. But one day, frustrated and tired of uncomfortable undergarments, she came up with a simple idea: footless pantyhose that actually feel good. With no background in fashion, no investors, and only $5,000 in savings, she took a chance. She cut the feet off her pantyhose, wrote her own patent, cold called manufacturers, and kept going despite the no's. Finally, one company agreed to try her design. The result? Spanx. Sarah became the youngest self-made female billionaire in the world. No investors. No family fortune. Just a dream and the guts to say, "Why not me?" It all began with one choice, to believe that her crazy idea might just work. That decision changed everything. Terry Wallace was in a car accident in 1984 and fell into a coma. Doctors said he'd likely never wake up. His wife and family refused to give up hope. They visited him, spoke to him, and kept him connected to the world, even though he lay motionless. Then, 19 years later, something unbelievable happened. Terry opened his eyes and spoke. He remembered his name. He remembered his wife. He even asked about the price of gas, still stuck in the 1980s. His recovery baffled doctors. No one could explain it. But his family knew. It was love, belief, and unwavering commitment that kept him alive. His first word? Mom. The world watched in awe as Terry's story became a living reminder that even when everything seems over, there's always hope. Sometimes, the most powerful decision is to just keep believing, because that can change everything. Every story you just heard had something in common, a moment. A moment where everything could have stayed the same, but didn't. Not because the world suddenly became easier, but because someone made a choice. A choice to believe. A choice to try. A choice to rise, even when it hurt. It wasn't magic. It wasn't luck. It was decision. Malala chose to speak. Freddie chose to believe in himself. Jim chose not to give up. Sarah chose to chase her idea. Terry's family chose to keep believing. And all of them, each one of them, created something extraordinary out of what seemed impossible. The truth is, you have that same power inside you. You might be sitting there thinking your story doesn't matter, that you're too late, that you're too broken, too tired, or too stuck. But let this be a reminder, you're not done yet. You're one decision away from a different life. Maybe it's the decision to walk away from a toxic relationship. Maybe it's the decision to finally start that dream project. Maybe it's the decision to forgive yourself. Maybe it's the decision to just try one more time. Whatever it is, don't wait. Don't wait for the perfect time, because it doesn't exist. Don't wait for everyone to support you, because not everyone will. Don't wait for fear to go away, because it won't. Courage is not the absence of fear. It's action in the face of it. You've seen the power of that action through these stories. Now it's time to write your own. Ask yourself, what is that one decision I've been afraid to make? Then do it, scared, uncertain, messy, but do it anyway. Because one step forward can start a ripple. One brave moment can become a turning point. One choice. That can change everything. Before this video ends, I want you to make a promise. Not to me, but to yourself. Promise that you will no longer live in fear of your potential. Promise that you will not bury your dreams in doubt. Promise that you'll take that one small action today. Remember, every great story starts somewhere. Let yours begin right now. Because your life isn't waiting to be perfect. It's waiting for you. To decide. To choose. To act. To change. Everything.